Good thing RCMP and Emmy were here. Hey, Steve. Good thing RCMP and Emmy were here.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, great. Thank you.
Cars, you could have gone faster.
Okay, I'll call to order the Town of Crossfield regular council meeting of Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. We'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples of the Treaty 7 territory and the Otipemisiwak Métis Government District 4. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all the First Peoples of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Okay, September 2nd, item 2.1, 2025 agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, if there's not, can I get a motion?
Get a motion.
Wait, Lindsay?
There is an amendment as sent by Director Alfina.
That's correct. There
So
is.
the motion proposed does reflect the amendment with the change to include a budget adjustment request under actions and decisions.
Okay. You get that, Mike?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Move the September 2nd, 2025 agenda amended to include a budget adjustment request under the actions and decisions.
Okay, all in favor? That's motion carried. Item 3.1, July 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. Are there any edits to those? Okay, no edits. Can I get a motion?
Through Chair.
Councillor
make
Bang.
The motion that July 15th, 2025 minutes be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
That's motion carried. Item 4.1, introduction of Fire Chief Dax. Is it Hubba or Huba? Huba, thank you. And Peace Officer Keith Arndt. So Russ Nash, Director of Community and Protective Services.
Thank you, Mayor Harris, and good evening, Council. Yes, we have our newly hired Fire Chief, Dax Huba, as well as our recently hired Community Peace Officer, Keith Arndt, here with us. I will do just a real brief introduction, and then I was going to invite them up, and they can kind of give you guys a quick introduction of themselves and welcome. So. First up, we got Fire Chief Dax Huba. Dax started with the town on June 23rd and was previously a district chief with Rocky View County. He's got a passion for mental health and wellness for emergency service personnel. So with that, I'll invite Dax up to say hi. If you want to come up to the...
Yeah, that way everyone at home can hear you too.
Hi, my name is Dax Huba. I've worked 20 years in fire services. I started in June. Been here for a few months now. Things are going well. In my personal life, I started the Phoenix Foundation with another former firefighter. We're changing the face of mental health and how it works with first responders. Eventually, we'll flood out into the civilian market. But for right now, we're just partnering with the University of Calgary, which is really kind of an upstart. Not a lot of foundations partner with the UC. We're onto something pretty good, and it's a passion of ours to look after people in all walks of first response.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And thanks for being and choosing Crossfield. We appreciate that. I hear you're doing a great job down there, and you're great with the rest of the firefighters, and we're putting some new things to work there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Welcome. I like it here. It's really kind of grown on me. I do have a long history with Crossfield, working side by side with them. Like I say, at Rocky View County, 15 years as a chief there. The move over was really good. I'm really happy with the place. There's lots that I can do, but it has a really good foundation, really good base. And I can't say this enough, but you have a talent that I haven't seen even in full-time halls. It's a really good outfit.
We have some really good firefighters, that's
Some
for sure.
fantastic firefighters, yes.
And, also thank you for looking after the mental health of firefighters. That's so important with all the stuff that they see on a daily basis. So
Yes, yeah.
thank you for that. Any questions from council?
To share. Not really any question. It's just more of a comment. Like I spoke with you kind of after hours-ish there. I caught you right when you were leaving and just hearing your vision, seeing the direction you're trying to take the department in. We got a really good base, but hearing what you had to say about the way you'd like to shape this was really exciting. So
Yeah,
super happy to have you on.
yeah, we're making some really good strides, really fast strides. It's coming along really, really quickly. There was a few hurdles that I thought were going to take a little longer, and we're actually ahead of schedule in compliancy training. I just finished sending quite a few of my officers for officer training, and we will have registered instructors here by the end of the month as well.
That's great.
Awesome.
We should be finishing up the balance of the 1001 training, and all your firefighters will be, as terms go, they'll be properly certified firefighters by the end of this year, barring some personal schedules.
Great. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Dax.
Hey.
And next, as I mentioned, Community Peace Officer Keith Arndt. He started with us on July 28th. He's got several years of experience in planning and development, bylaw and animal control with the City of Calgary. Also worked with the Alberta Sheriffs, as well as in traffic enforcement with Rocky View County. Keith actually just recently received his peace officer appointment from the province, so he's now a full-fledged community peace officer for the town. So that's good. So with that, I'll let Keith come and introduce himself to council.
Well, after this, I'm just waiting for the call from the Reeve of Rocky View County. We got Steve, we got Keith, we got Dax. Awesome.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Keith Arndt. Just recently employed with the town of Crossfield as the community peace officer. Russ touched a little bit on my past experience. I started with the military police several years ago. Did 4 years with the military police, and from there I went to the City of Calgary. And did almost 29 years with the City of Calgary as a peace officer there. Things evolved from what they call a special constable through the years, all the way through to the community peace officer. Did 10 years with animal services, and I think I did another 9 with general bylaw. And then the remaining 10 or so with development and compliance services as a development inspector. So I was there as one of the development officers there. When I retired from the city, I went up to Drayton Valley for a year, and I was their development officer up there. But they had some budget issues, so I came back during COVID time and went to work with the sheriffs for about 5 years, and was on the highway patrol through the Red Deer area, and got tired of that drive. So I came back and I went to the courthouse here in Calgary for a little while, and then went to Rocky View County, and from Rocky View County, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to come here because it was more in line with, I think, with my strengths and what I could offer, and be more of an asset to the community. Rocky View County was more just the highway and traffic, and that was it. Where here you're touching on a little bit of everything, which was right in line with what I do. Side note, 28 years now with the Calgary Flames organization and their ice maintenance crew. And I've done that part-time for the 28 years and enjoyed it thoroughly. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the new building or not, but that's the goal. Get 1 year in there, and then that'll probably be it for me.
Great. Maybe we'll get you on a Zamboni here just for fun.
Yeah. I'm more assisting those
Yeah.
guys than anything, but it's been fun doing that. Since I've been here, I just want to thank everybody for making me feel welcome and letting me kind of trying to get comfortable with the position. There was lots it doesn't matter how much experience you have, there's always so much to learn. Technology wise is always a big hurdle for me. So I have to get used to the different systems again, and it takes a little while to break in. As we're finding out, today there was more hurdles to jump through that we didn't even realize were there. So eventually it'll all fall into place nicely, I think. And that's the one thing is I don't shy away from my work, and I'm pretty conscientious and have a good work ethic. So I should be a good fit for sure.
That's excellent. Well, we're sure glad to have you. I know that just from what I've heard so far, that
Mhm.
you have a good personality and how you approach people is really good. So we do appreciate that. And that's kind of what we were looking for.
Yeah. I mean, I come from two aspects of enforcement over the years. The first was the hardcore, it's my way, and
Yeah.
that's it. And then you had to learn to work with people a little more as the years went on, and communication skills had to evolve quite substantially. And then you have to, you're more working for compliance as the years go on than enforcement.
That's right.
So it's traffic is a little different sometimes, a little tougher. That's the way I found it. Bylaw is a little easier with the compliance, I find, than the traffic end of it. Traffic is always, is more, it seems to me more black and white, and you have to be firm, but more firm and fair than,
Mhm.
and then incorporate the communication skills a little better in that and make that fit. So
Excellent. Any questions for Keith tonight? No, well, keep up the good work. Thanks for choosing Crossfield too, and appreciate that you're here.
thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll move into the public hearing. And to start the public hearing, I'll just do some opening remarks. On the public hearing, 5.1, bylaw 2025-10, being a bylaw of the town of Crossfield to amend bylaw number 2018-14, being the town of Crossfield land use bylaw to redesignate from UR, urban reserve, to I1, light, or L1, light industrial and commercial district, and L2, medium industrial district. So welcome, everyone. This public hearing is conducted under Section 216.4 of the Municipal Government Act. All attendees must turn off cell phones and direct questions or comments through the chair when called upon. The public may speak in support or in opposition to the application in an orderly manner. If you submitted a letter, or only provide new non-repetitive information. When presenting, state your full name and indicate if you're speaking for yourself, another person, or a group. Individuals have 5 minutes to speak, and groups of 3 or more have 10 minutes to speak. You will be prompted by the mayor when you have 1 minute remaining of your speaking time. Hopefully I'll get a nudge from someone on that. All letters received during the written submission period are included in the agenda package. As per the council procedural bylaw 2025-06, attendees must follow public hearing rules and speak only if registered, maintain order, remain seated, and avoid private conversations. Do not applaud or interrupt speakers or counsel. The mayor may remove anyone for improper conduct. And the purpose of the hearing is to provide an opportunity for members of the public to speak to council on a proposed planning and development matters. Public hearings are formal hearings that must be follow rules set out by provincial and local legislation and allow the public to present their views to council on the items contained within that public hearing agenda. The purpose is not for council to discuss and debate the bylaw, but to listen to the public's views. So after the close of the public hearing, council may debate the proposed bylaw or resolution in a regular or special council meeting, may pass a bylaw or resolution, or make an amendment to the bylaw or resolution it considers necessary and proceed to pass it without further advertisement or hearing, or defeat the bylaw or resolution. So with that, I hereby call to order this public hearing at 7:16 p.m. Okay, the purpose of the meeting, this public hearing is to consider bylaw number 2025-10. It's a bylaw to amend bylaw number 2018-14, being the Town of Crossfield Land Use Bylaw under Part 6, Land Use District Map pursuant to Section 606 of the Municipal Government Act. The bylaw 2025-10 proposes the amendment plus 8.18 hectares, approximately 20 acres of land legally described as the Northwest Quarter Section 24, Township 28, Range Road 1, W5M 701 Western Drive from Urban Reserve District to Light Industrial and Commercial District and Medium Industrial District. This request was first considered at the council meeting on July 15th, 2025, and given first reading then. Today's public hearing notice was posted on the Towns of Crossfield's website and town social media sites. The responses received in support or opposition during the public hearing notification were included in the package, and there was none, just so everybody knows. And so order of business. The order of business will be as follows per the Town of Crossfield procedure bylaw. So administration, Steve Altina will provide an overview of the proposed actions with regard to the redesignation bylaw. And then we'll have questions and clarifications from council members to administrate during this portion of the public hearing. So Steve, if you want to come up and we'll hear from you.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Steve Altina, Director of Infrastructure and Community Growth, here to present this item, public hearing, second and third readings, redesignation item and concept plan for 701 Western Drive. The purpose of the report is for council to assess bylaw 2025-10 and the Advanced Crossfield Concept Plan, which concerns the redesignation of a portion of Northwest Corridor 24, Township 28, Range 1, west of the 5th Meridian, from Urban Reserve District to I-1 Light Industrial and Commercial District, and to I-2 Medium Industrial District. Proposed resignation covering 8.18 hectares or 20.21 acres, more or less, would facilitate the phased development of industrial park. The subject lands, as you can see on the screen behind me, are located within the southernmost quarter section of the Crossfield East Area Structure Plan, just on the east side of Highway 2A and south of Western Drive, otherwise known as Township Road 284. The Crossfield East ASP was approved for subject lands in 2019 and supports industrial development for industrial and commercial development for the subject lands. Subject lands are currently zoned Urban Reserve District to protect the land for urban uses from premature subdivision and development, which may prejudice or compromise future urban development. A limited range of rural and recreational uses may be supported on the Urban Reserve zoned lands. This application was initially circulated from January 9th, 2025 to February 10th, 2025 to Rocky View County, along with several agencies, including Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors, Rocky View Schools, ATCO, Fortis, TELUS, as well as internal town departments. Following comments from agencies and from town administration, the applicant submitted a more detailed concept plan in support of the application on May 7th, 2025. Considering the changes to the original plan, administration recirculated the updated application from May 13th, 2025 to June 3rd, 2025. Circulation comments received by the town for both circulation periods presented in council's package.
Landowner circulation, the application was also circulated to adjacent landowners during the same time periods as previously stated. In accordance with the Municipal Government Act, no responses were received during those circulation periods. The development proposal, it's being proposed to subdivide 2.04 hectares, 5.04 acre lot from the northeast corner of the roughly 20 acre subject lands and change the land use from urban reserve to medium industrial district I2 to support a wood pallet manufacturing facility. A land use change from the urban reserve to light industrial commercial district being proposed on the remainder 15.17 or so acres, but remain in its current agricultural state until a time future development is warranted. The concept plan has been provided for council's consideration again as guidelines for future development on these lands. Administration conducted a policy analysis and found that the proposed redesignation is compliant with the policies of the town municipal development plan, the Crossfield East area structure plan, and the town land use bylaw, as detailed in council's package. Policy areas to note for council are the Crossfield East ASP typically requires a local plan to be prepared under policy 8.1.12 in the ASP. The local plan is defined as a neighborhood area structure plan. And if council recalls, we did some discussion around these during our MDP preparation and introduced the neighborhood structure plans into the MDP themselves. This is considered a statutory plan at the sub ASP level. Given that the proposed development is contained to a parcel of approximately 20 acres, administration supported the preparation of a concept plan instead by the applicant instead. And there is a clause in the Crossfield East ASP that does allow for that discretion in the implementation section. And that is policy 21.1.1 as shown on the screen. Another area to note for council is that the initial phase of development within the concept plan, that is the pallet manufacturing facility, proposes to use interim on-site servicing as allowed for consideration under policy 8.3.4 of the MDP. But we do note that this does contrast the Crossfield East ASP that requires full municipal servicing for industrial areas under policy 8.1.2. And again, as discussed through council, through the MDP process, the idea was to look at interim servicing on the east side of Highway 2A to support generating some economic development, lower some of those entry costs for developers while properly building towards a fund to extend those services east of Highway 2A. The MDP does take precedence over the ASP as the higher order statutory document, and administration is supportive of this initial development being supported by interim servicing. The need for full servicing will be assessed at future phases as development intensifies east of Highway 2A. The applicant had submitted a number of technical studies to support the redesignation and the concept plan, including utility servicing report, a biophysical impact assessment, BIA, a phase 1 environmental site assessment, an ESA, a limited phase 2 environmental assessment, and a transportation impact assessment. I will note that I did miss 2 of the technical studies in your report. I do have them listed on the screen behind me. The applicant also submitted a historical resources overview, an HRO, and a geotechnical report. The utility servicing report outlines the interim servicing strategies for the initial phase of development, including the use of a sewage holding tank for sanitary servicing and the cistern for potable water servicing, and the use of a second tank to meet fire requirements. The details will be addressed fully at development permit stage. The report also identifies a stormwater strategy for the initial phase, that is the pallet manufacturing facility, and use of an on-site stormwater facility for that. And the BIA, the biophysical impact assessment, notes the initial phase of development avoids environmentally sensitive areas, which includes 2 wetlands and an ephemeral drainage course, and it includes recommendations for the construction and future development of the site. The limited phase 2 environmental site assessment recommends that no further environmental assessments are required. They did move to a phase 2 environmental assessment to look at a fill pile that was left on the site from previously, as well to look at the old septic field for the house that was there. But it was found that there was no need for further study on those. In terms of the TIA concluded that the Western Drive and the Highway 2A intersection can accommodate the initial development phase. In the 10 and 20-year horizons, site-generated and background traffic growth will require network improvements at the Western Drive and 2A intersection, notably signals at that intersection eventually, as well as the Highway 2A intersections with the Highway 2 West ramp to the south and at Township Road 292 to the north, so up towards Carstairs there. Traffic impacts will be further confirmed at future phases of development. Western Drive east of Highway 2A will be assessed further at subdivision stage to determine if any surfacing improvements are needed to accommodate the heavy vehicles for the initial development. Our other studies, our geotechnical report also indicated that the site is suitable for the support of industrial type buildings and a variety of footings and foundation types. And the historical resources overview did not note any areas of historical significance and determined it was a low probability that there would be historical artifacts or historical aspects found within the site. In administration's opinion, we are able to support, administration recommends support of both the redesignation and the concept plan. And we recommend to council that bylaw 2025-10 be given second reading, that bylaw 2025-10 be given third and final reading, and that the advanced crossfield concept plan be adopted as a framework to guide development within the subject lands. That concludes administration's presentation, and we're available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Director Altina. Appreciate that. Any questions for Director Altina?
Mr. Chair.
Counselor Knight.
Steve, just a question. I know it talks about Range Road 284 being expanded to 6 meters. Is there any triggers or any requirements? Like I know as the town and the area expands, just expectations if there's something from the developer and the applicant to turn that into pavement at some certain time when there's enough lots filled or anything like that? Or is that just sort of once we give approval to this, it can stay gravel forever?
Thanks. Through the chair to Councillor Knight. So the TIA did look at that. There's not a lot of traffic on that road right now. And the initial development was determined to the TIA not to trigger the need for pavement. There is some considerations in the TIA we actually just received recently as part of the subdivision application coming forward. Again, council will see this again as a subdivision authority at that point too. There may need to be a more substantial gravel structure placed on the road. However, paving wouldn't be warranted at this time. We will check in with future development, complete TIA updates and understand the traffic volumes out there to complete paving at that time. If we're looking at interim servicing as well, a lot of our servicing pipes would run down Township Road 284. So we also want to coincide that probably with linking up the pipes. We don't necessarily want to pave it and dig it up a few years later and then repave it again. So there'll be some timing aspects that administration will have to pay close attention to. The additional 6 meters is to set us up for the future. So under our transportation master plan, it identifies that road as a 2-lane industrial arterial requiring a little bit wider right of way. So that would be required to be dedicated to the town's right of way at the time of subdivision.
Okay, perfect. Last question is in terms of the wastewater and the service and kind of we're giving them exemption for now. Was there any, does administration have any timelines or projections where that might fall in the capital budget? Would it depend on lots sold? I'm just curious. That'll be a bit of an expense. So, in the conversations with the applicant, there was probably no timelines provided, but, from a growth point of view, is there a trigger also on that where that jumps into the 5-year capital budget?
For sure. And yeah, thank you. Through the chair to Councillor Knight. Those upgrades can be kind of affected in a couple different ways. They could be initiated by the town ourselves to bring the servicing across. We could also see larger, more comprehensive development that would need that servicing, and then it would be the developer's responsibility to bring those servicings across. If we've collected levies towards some of that servicing or any sort of cost contributions towards that servicing from other development that has been able to use interim servicing, we then partner with a developer likely on a cost share split to bring that servicing across. So we certainly look for those triggers. I don't have a specific trigger for you. A lot of these industrial facilities, I believe this one, and the applicant can correct me if I'm wrong, is looking at only maybe 10 to 15 employees at a time. So there's not a big draw for servicing. But as we see, commercial areas perhaps develop on the east side of Highway 2A and additional industrial areas, it'll start to, make more sense to invest that funds into that infrastructure. And again, it's something we're going to continually check into as we develop these areas is, what's the servicing demand? When does it make sense to pull the trigger and initiate these capital projects?
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, great. Mine was just around clarity on who pays for it and the levies. So I think you've answered that already.
To be determined.
That's right. So that's good. I didn't have any further questions for administration. Great. And now we'll call the applicant up, Fabio Coppola. We'll make your presentation and you have 10 minutes.
You want to just need to connect to HDMI. Yeah. As you can borrow mine. Burger here. Okay, so I'll say next slide then. When I. Okay. Yeah. Whenever you want to put. Thank you, Steve.
So 10 minutes will take us to probably 7:42.
Okay, it's just. Okay. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, good evening, Your Worship and members of council. My name is Fabio Coppola, and I'm the General Manager of Investec Consulting. I'm here to present in support and on behalf of the landowner and applicant Advanced Lumber for the subject application before you tonight, bylaw 2025-010, land use redesignation. So the subject site is located at 701 Western Drive, which is more specifically on the east side of Highway 2A in the southeast segment of Crossfield. The subject site is currently vacant and formerly contained a homestead, which has since been removed from the site. The current land use district for the subject site is Urban Reserve District. Next slide. Since the removal of the homestead, the subject site has remained vacant for over 2 decades. Site features include an access from Township Road 284, existing vegetation, and a wetland in the northeast corner of the subject site. Directly north, east, and south of the subject site are lands designated as Urban Reserve District, and to the west of the site and Highway 2A are lands designated as Medium Industrial District. A timeline is provided on the slide to demonstrate the process and work that went into the subject site and application along the way. The project was initiated with the town in March 2024 and progressed through application and technical study preparations to first submission in December 2024, through to revisions and resubmission in 2025, prior to arriving at first reading of the bylaw in July. Investec would like to acknowledge the guidance and effort provided by the town's administrative team, particularly Director Altina. Applications such as the one before you truly take a collaborative team effort, so we're appreciative of them. The land use redesignation application proposes to amend the current land use of Urban Reserve for the entire 20-acre subject site into 2 respective new land use districts. The first being Urban Reserve to Light Industrial and Commercial District, otherwise known as I-1, for 14.95 acres, which will enable future opportunities along Highway 2A to create positive first visual impressions and offer end users a mix of potential employment services. Urban Reserve to Medium Industrial District, I-2, for the 5.26 acre site will enable Advanced Lumber to develop a new pallet manufacturing facility on a portion of the land, with the balance providing future opportunities for either plant expansion or alternate industrial uses. The Crossfield Municipal Development Plan assigns the subject site within the urban corridor and employment center policy areas. Strategic direction number 5 of the MDP emphasizes a land development ecosystem that supports diverse employment opportunities and increases employment opportunities within Crossfield, both items of which this application sets out to achieve. The Crossfield East Area Structure Plan provides further policy direction and guidance on how the subject site may develop in the future.
The subject site is designated as industrial within the ASP, and the application before you achieves many of its key components of the ASP vision and development strategy. Particularly, the application proposes to establish both local and regional employment lands and services. It respects and protects the natural environment through retention of the existing wetland, and it proposes a phased approach to ensure continual respect for adjacent agricultural land. This will ultimately provide an opportunity for future development to be designed to create a visual appealing gateway to the town. Technical studies completed on this project are listed on the slide, a variety of which were provided to support the land use redesignation and also the future forthcoming subdivision application. This in turn helps provide a rationale for the proposed application, supported through environmental, geotechnical, historical resources, transportation, utility servicing, conceptual renderings, and a conceptual plan report. All reports are provided to help confirm existing conditions, identify key environmental and historical features, confirm development suitability, demonstrate servicing capabilities, and identify the effects of background traffic growth as well as projected traffic on the existing roadway network. All reports have been provided to the town under separate cover. The conceptual plan and report was completed to show how the entire 20 acres will develop in the future. Immediate proposed development to support the implementation of the pallet manufacturing plant is located within Phase 1A. Phase 1B is proposed as the next phase of development, followed by phases 2 and 3. The conceptual plan shows future connectivity to adjacent parcels, water, sanitary, and stormwater servicing considerations, a regional pathway for pedestrians and cyclists, and the retention of the existing wetland. Phases 2 and 3 are proposed to include a mix of commercial and light industrial opportunities. Moreover, the conceptual plan provides additional latitude and flexibility to meet future market demands and investment interest. The immediate proposed future development is located within Phase 1A and is slated to become a wood pallet manufacturing plant. Future subdivision and development permit will be required to implement Phase 1A, and Investec is working closely with the town on the respective 5-acre subdivision application, with hopes of bringing that application forward to council later in September. Should the land use redesignation be approved, this will unlock the respective next steps required to developing a 21,500 square foot manufacturing plant with parking and on-site loading. The conceptual renderings were completed by our partner subconsultant Ace Architecture in support of this application. The concept visually depicts building massing, pedestrian connectivity, and how the loading and parking areas are screened from adjacent parcels. We recognize the render is conceptual. However, we believe that this visual provides further aid and clarity around how the site may be developed. So the full 20-acre site, this rendering shows a greater vision or idea of the ultimate build-out of the subject site. This render shows 9 possible parcels with a mix of site layouts and building massings. The gateway treatment, including screening, landscaping, and a regional pathway, are shown along Highway 2A in support of the Crossfield East ASP policies. This proposal aims to visually improve the southern gateway to Crossfield and increase the availability of employment lands within the town. In turn, this proposal aligns with municipal statutory and servicing plan direction. It enables future local employment opportunities and brings online additional non-residential lands within the town. To conclude, the proposed land use redesignation application aligns with the objectives and policies set forth within the MDP or the Municipal Development Plan, the Crossfield East Area Structure Plan, Town Servicing Plan. It also activates and readies the site for further investments into the town. and it increases the non-residential property tax revenue and local employment opportunities in the future. Thank you, Your Worship and members of council, for the opportunity to present this application before you tonight. And I ask that you consider approving bylaw 2025-010, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Fabio. Good presentation. Questions for Fabio today?
To the chair.
Counselor Knight, go ahead.
Great presentation. I like the whole information. My only question, Fabio, is in regards to the fire water storage in the rendering and the pictures right there. Is the plan to be using the water area that was from the no, from the wetlands? Where does the rendering of that show where the fire water storage would come from?
Through the chair to Councillor Knight. So is this in regard to the phase 1A immediate?
Yeah, just it talks about in all the documentation here that it talks about, like, you know, the fire department, like, the recommendations have been, you know, since there's no connection to services, there'll be enough water to cover the fire suppression system that's there. I'm just curious, I don't see it on the renders. Is the plan that comes from the wetlands, or what was the plan for where the water will be stored?
It'll be in a secondary fire suppression cistern.
Okay.
And that'll be separate from the potable water that'll
Okay.
be used to service the building. So
Thanks, that's all.
Great. Questions?
Through the chair.
Counselor Gustafson.
The only real question I have is from today's date to, I guess, completion of 1A, how long are we looking at timeline of, you know, I guess the developer's expectation of their own timeline?
sure. Through the chair to Councillor Gustafson. My client's aim is to invest and get this manufacturing plant developed as soon as they can. They've currently run out of space in their current location in Calgary, so they'd like to have this building built and up and running as soon as they can. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, no, like a year, 2 years, like.
I would imagine,
overall.
yeah, I would imagine through the process that we have still before us, we're probably looking at 26, 27, somewhere in there. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Any other questions?
Through the chair. I do have one. So when they're doing construction, because there's going to be a lot of dirt and gravel and they're going to be pulling it onto the 2A, how are they going to keep control of the 2A not consistently being covered in loose gravel and broken windshields?
Through the chair to Councillor Fox, I think through like we're going to have to provide some form of a construction management plan that ensures that the distribution of the site's materials is handled in a correct manner. That's not particularly my area of expertise, but I understand that is somewhat of an industry practice standard. So we'll work with the town on that for sure.
We've seen it in other development areas, so that's why I thought I would ask that question.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Anyone else?
Through the chair.
Deputy Mayor.
Sorry, Fabio?
Fabio, yeah.
Fabio. That's a great name.
Thank you.
Just gotta say it. Well, we can speculate it, but you guys may know better. When it comes to the actual pallet plant, what does the shipping and receiving traffic volume actually look like for that? Like, what are we kind of looking like? What's your turnover rate on that product, moving it out down the 2A there?
Through the chair to Councillor Brennan. So the transportation impact assessment report gives trip generation through AM and PM peak hours. Based off of this development size and the number of employees, there's going to be about 10 employees at full build out for phase 1A, 9 AM to 4 PM sort of shift. So pretty minimal on the employee side. As it relates to shipping and receiving, that information I don't have full information or access to, but there is land use trip generation assumptions that are provided in the TIA that spell out this is how many trips you can expect per day, and it's order of magnitude almost insignificant at this level.
Fair enough.
When you get into the bigger picture, and Director Altina touched on it, like that's going to be the need to have TIA updates as we go, or as this land gets further subdivided and developed, just to ensure that all the traffic and the existing roadway network can handle that. So,
Right on. Okay, appreciate it.
Great. So just a couple questions for me. You have 6 meters buffer from the pond, the wetlands area.
Mhm.
Is that something that Alberta Environment has approved?
So this buffer, sorry to the chair, this buffer is 15 meters around that we've placed.
Okay.
And it's derived, I believe, through your municipal development plan
Okay, great.
for riparian setbacks. And so that's that hatched green line there. So the 6 meter road right away was what Director Altina was touching on for the future roadway alignment.
Okay. Yeah, as long as that aligns with our plans and with
Yeah.
Alberta Environment, that's great. We want to protect those. Just curious, just on the pellets, a lot of it will be built on inside, but you're storing them outside of the buildings?
Through the chair, majority of the storage from the current operations and what I understand is going to be in the annex or within the plant itself. And it'll be through the development authority's discretion to approve how the screening is provided
Okay.
and done. The plant that I toured in Calgary, most everything, I would say 99% of their wood pallet storage is inside. For this site, they may have a different vision. There is some talk about, and we've noted it on this site plan, a potential outdoor storage, but
Yeah.
that would be subject to getting approval through the development authority for the DP.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just want to make sure it is on the entrance to town. I know that you've taken some steps to beautify the area, which is great. Some trees and the buildings look pretty decent too. But just to be able
Yeah.
to keep that area kind of clean and not kind of scattered all over the place and stacked too high would be
Yeah.
really great.
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay. And then one last question. After you submitted all your documents to Alberta Transportation that they were asking for, did they have any further comments?
Through the chair, no, not to my knowledge, unless Director Altina, you got any additional correspondence?
Thank you to the chair. I believe we just received an updated TIA just yesterday. So that's been sent back to the province. We're at redesignation stage and we still have time to work with the province through the subdivision approval stage, which is typically where they're most interested in. So I believe parties were generally satisfied for redesignation, and then we continue to work with the province at subdivision when we start introducing those conditions.
Thank you. All right. I think that, any other questions? Perfect. And you're well within your 10 minutes, so that was great too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good. All right. So now we're going to move on to any submissions from the public that have been in favor, and I will ask 3 times. Has there been anything online? Okay. I'll call upon anybody in favor for the first time. And there's no one. Anyone else present who wishes to speak in favor for a second time? And anyone else present who wishes to speak in favor for a third and final time? And there is none. So submissions from the public in opposition. So is there anyone present who wishes to speak in opposition for the first time? There's none. Anyone present who wishes to speak in opposition for a second time? And anyone else who is present who wishes to speak in opposition for a third time? And there are none. So I imagine the applicant, being there was no one opposed, that you don't need to rebuttal. You're okay? All right, that's great. Okay, and then final question period. Does council have any final questions, either for administration? Yeah, I guess just for administration. No one? Okay. All right, then, if council is satisfied that we've received sufficient information about the proposed actions, then I will close the public hearing and proceed to consider giving bylaw 2025-10 second and third reading. So I'll close it at 7:51. Okay, any further discussion before we go into the motions by council? Okay, who'd like to give the second reading?
Chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I move that bylaw 2025-10 be given second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. And who would like to give third and final reading?
Through the chair.
Counselor Lambert? The third and final reading.
I move that bylaw 2025-10 be given third and final reading.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And the final motion.
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight.
I move that the advanced Crossfield concept plan be adopted as a framework to guide development of subject lands.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And that's motion carried. Okay, item 6.1, bylaw 2025-11, designated officers bylaw. Lindsay Nash, Legislative and Administrative Services Manager.
Good evening, council. Administration is proposing updates to the designated officers bylaw by consolidating the current designated officers bylaw 2022-02 and the chief administrative officer bylaw 2021-09 into a single bylaw. These changes will incorporate the CAO's legislative duties as outlined within Section 207 of the Municipal Government Act into the designated officers bylaws, eliminating the need for a separate CAO bylaw and ensuring compliance with legislative requirements. As part of this review, the bylaw has been updated to reflect current organizational needs and best practices. The list of designated officer positions have been revised to match the existing organizational structure and remove any outdated positions. Additionally, provisions related to signing authority have been clarified to streamline financial processes, maintain accountability, and ensure appropriate controls and delegation for signing checks, agreements, and other legal documents. This consolidation improves clarity, reduces redundancy, and supports consistent governance practices within the organization. Administration is recommending that bylaw 2021-09, the Chief Administrative Officer's bylaw, is repealed, and that the designated officers bylaw 2025-11 be giving all three readings. That is the end of my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay, questions for Manager Nash?
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight.
Just to touch on the best practices, Lindsay, I'm assuming that this was maybe compared to another municipality or other things, or do we just go off the best practices from the MGA when we say best practices?
A combination of both.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? I don't have any questions. Just going easy on you. You just came back from holidays. Okay. Any questions? No more questions? Any more discussion? Okay, let's move into the proposed motions. Who'd like to make the first reading?
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
I propose motion that the designated officer bylaw 2025-11 be given first reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And second reading,
Through the chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I move that the designated officer bylaw 2025-11 be given second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And third and final reading,
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight,
I move that the designated officer bylaw 2025-11 be given unanimous consent to go to third and final reading.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion carried. And third and final reading.
Through the chair,
Counselor Lambert,
I move that the designated officer bylaw 2025-11 be given third and final reading.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And if you'd like to make the motion to repeal,
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that bylaw 2021-09 chief administrator officer bylaw be repealed.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion carried. Okay, item 6.2, bylaw 2025-12, council procedural bylaw. Again, we'll have manager Lindsay Nash.
Thank you. During the review of the designated officers bylaw, administration identified incorrect wording in the council procedure bylaw relating to signing authority. The current wording suggests that council is the signing authority on all checks, bylaws, applications, and agreements, which does not align with the legislative requirements or practical municipal operations. This creates ambiguity regarding the delegation of authority. To address this, amendment is proposed to clarify that all of council has signing authority for checks and bylaws, which must be countersigned by the CAO or a designated officer. Additional signing authority for agreements, contracts, and other municipal documents will be delegated to the CAO or established by a resolution of council. This amendment ensures clarity and compliance with the Municipal Government Act and alignment with the municipal best practices. It provides council with flexibility to delegate authority while maintaining appropriate oversight and supporting operational efficiencies. Administration is recommending that the council procedure bylaw 2025-06 be rescinded and that 2025 bylaw 2025-12 be given all three readings this evening. That is the end of my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay, great. Questions for manager Nash? Nothing. Okay, good job, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the proposed motions.
Through the chair,
Counselor Gustafson,
I'll move that council procedural bylaw 2025-12 be given first reading.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Second reading,
Through the chair,
Counselor Vang.
I'll make the motion that council procedural bylaw 2025/12 be given second reading.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Third and final reading,
Through the chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I move that the council procedural bylaw 2025-12 be given unanimous consent to go to third and final reading.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And third and final,
Through the chair,
Counselor Lambert.
I make the motion that the council procedural bylaw 2025-12 be given third and final reading.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And the repeal,
Through the chair. I
Counselor
propose-
Fox.
I propose that bylaw 2025-6 council procedural bylaw be repealed.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actions and decisions, 7.1, Crossfield Community Wellness Day Proclamation. Nicole, FCSS Community Development Coordinator. Welcome back from your holiday.
Thank you.
It looked like fun.
It was very nice. Good evening, Mayor Harris and Council. Thank you for having me here this evening. I'm here to discuss the Crossfield Community Wellness Day. On Sunday, September 7th, the Crossfield Wellness Network, in partnership with Crossfield FCSS, will host our third annual Crossfield Community Wellness Day in Crockett Park, which is in Sunset Heights. This is to foster a sense of community connection, raise mental health awareness, reduce the stigma associated with mental health issues, and bring attention to the resources and services available within our community. It's our hope that promoting overall wellness, we can significantly enhance the quality of life for all residents in Crossfield. The overall goal of FCSS is to enhance social well-being, and the mission of the Crossfield Wellness Network is to work collaboratively to create healthy places and social spaces for all residents. Crossfield Community Wellness Day will bring forward the vision for Crossfield residents to live in a healthy, resilient community that supports them to achieve their optimal wellness and enhance their social well-being. The plans for the celebration this year will include games, activities, wellness stations, a barbecue lunch, and service organizations and resources. The day will be fully free and welcoming to all ages. Funding for the celebration has been budgeted for through the Crossfield Wellness Network's grant funding they received through the Rural Mental Health Project and through the internal FCSS operational budget, as this project directly aligns with FCSS. So I am here this evening for Town of Crossfield FCSS Department, asking for council to declare September 7th, 2025 as Crossfield Community Wellness Day.
Okay, any questions for Nicole?
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
More just if anybody's watching this or any information, what time does this kick off at?
11, and it goes till 2 p.m.
Okay.
And
Thank
lunch
you.
will be free until we run out of food.
And Nicole will bring her wasp swatter.
They worked really well last year.
They
I'm
did.
hoping we don't need them this year. I think it's a little better here without them.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, no other questions, then I will make the motion that council declare September 7th, 2025 as Crossfield Community Wellness Day. All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Item 7.2, rescind Health and Safety Committee Policy 2020-03, presented by Director Russ Nash of Community and Protective Services, also acting CEO.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. So as part 2 of the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Act, it requires that employers establish a health and safety committee if they regularly employ 20 or more workers. Further to that, Part 13 of the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Code stipulates that, stipulates the required guidelines and components that a health and safety committee must have or follow, which includes composition of the committee, terms of reference, meeting quorum, member training, etc. Town of Crossfield has had a health and safety committee in place for a number of years, operating under guidelines contained within the Health and Safety Committee Policy 2020-03. Following the 2024 safety program audit, it was noted that the existing policy was missing some recently updated legislative requirements or components. As such, the Health and Safety Committee conducted a review of the policy and rewrote it into a terms of reference, which is attached for council's reference, including the updated requirements. Information contained within the terms of reference includes guidelines for establishing the committee, guidelines for holding committee meetings, including quorum, co-chairs, recording minutes, etc. Training requirements for committee members, duties of the Health and Safety Committee, which include responding to health and safety concerns or complaints, participating in inspections, completing and reviewing incident investigations, making recommendations to senior leadership, etc. It also includes processes for addressing health and safety concerns and complaints, as well as term of office for members. Being that the Health and Safety Committee performs administrative functions, it was decided to change this document to a terms of reference. It will also provide administration with flexibility to make changes required by legislation, as well as changes to improve efficiencies of the committee. Any changes to the terms of reference must be approved by the senior leadership team. It is important to note, I just wanted to make sure that council understands that this policy, which is the Health and Safety Committee policy, differs from the Health and Safety policy, which we do have in place as well. So we're not repealing the Health and Safety policy, we're repealing the Health and Safety Committee policy. So many of the components of the terms of reference were already contained within the Health and Safety Committee policy. They've just been transferred over into the terms of reference. So with that, administration is looking for council to rescind the Health and Safety Committee Policy 2020-03. That concludes my presentation, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Questions for Director Nash? Okay, the Nashes are lucky tonight. All right, if there's no questions, you'd like to make a motion.
Through the chair.
Councilor Knight,
I move that council rescind Health and Safety Committee Policy 2020-03.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Okay, item 7.3, agenda addition, budget adjustment request, Director Steve Altina, Infrastructure and Community Growth. Thanks for getting a report together for the request.
Thank you to the chair. I'll just put the report up on the screen. I do apologize for the lateness of sending that report over to council, which was just at the start of the meeting. Thanks for the prompt, Councillor Knight. So I'll just put the report up on the screen there and I'll kind of walk council through it really quickly. And then of course we're here to take any questions. So. Screen. Okay, the purpose of the report is to request that council approve a budget adjustment of $67,000 and $67,250 for the Athabasca Crescent and Saskatchewan Street sewer main replacement project, bringing the budgeted total from $657,750 to $725,000. The bidding period for the construction closed on Friday, August 29th, and when reviewed, the bids and engineering costs were noted to exceed the approved budget. Administration has identified that unallocated funds from the 2025 local government fiscal framework, that's the LGFF funding, are available to cover the increase in the project budget. Just a little background on what we're doing here. In 2017, the town conducted video-based sewer inspections of selected sewer mains to identify pipes in poor condition. To address poorly rated pipes, the town has undertaken over the years a series of sewer main replacement capital programs. As of 2025, the following sections of sewer main have not been replaced. Athabasca Crescent for about 135 meters and Saskatchewan Street for 25 meters. These projects are kind of together in this bundle. And Lott Avenue, the big guy that we've talked about previously at council for 415 meters. Administration is working with All North Consultants to design and tender these projects. The Athabasca Crescent and Saskatchewan Street project, as I will show below, is slated to be completed this fall. While the detailed design for the Lott Avenue sewer replacement project is underway and scheduled for 2026. We had intended to bring that project forward in 2025, but unfortunately a project of that size took a little bit longer than we thought. So that one will go ahead in 2026. For Lott Avenue, we'll be coming back to council during budget time, of course, to ensure that the budget is appropriate for that guy. So the Athabasca Crescent Saskatchewan Street project covers the areas approximately in the shaded gray here, about 135 meters along Athabasca Crescent and about 25 to 30 meters along Saskatchewan Street. These pipes are in poor condition and are as part of that asset management program the town started back in 2017. We're almost done that program. Once the Lott Avenue one is complete, that program is complete, and we'll go back and video inspect all the other pipes that were in fair condition and see if any of them have changed to poor and severe and start to continue to replace those pipes. Communications engagement, we're looking to select a contractor as early as tomorrow with the budget adjustment here, and we'll immediately be on informing impacted residents, businesses, and the schools, of course, are nearby of the project once awarded to a contractor. Financial implications, again, the unallocated funds from the LGFF capital fund will be used to cover the budget increase, and there'll be no impact to the town's reserve funds. Administration's recommendation is that council approve a budget increase of $67,250 for the Athabasca Crescent sewer main replacement project to be funded from unallocated 2025 local government fiscal framework LGFF capital funds. That concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Great. Questions for Director Altina? Councillor Gustafson.
Through the chair. Just the increase, was it just like just an increase in the engineering costs that was added, or we just an oversight, just a simple oversight? Is that what it was?
For sure. To the chair, to Councillor Gustafson, our engineering estimate earlier this year had come in lower for a lower cost, and then when we realized the actual prices this fall, they were higher than anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just a bit of a miss on the cost estimation piece, unfortunately.
So that was an estimate on our engineering, or?
Yeah, between administration and our engineering team that had estimated what it would take to complete this project. We unfortunately estimated lower than what the actuals came in. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get an RFP, that's what happens when you send it out to different companies to bid on. It does come in a little bit higher based on, prices of materials and inflation and those type of things.
For sure. And to the chair and to all of council, if I may, our estimates do include a contingency.
Mhm.
So that's not to say that administration and our engineer won't actually bring the project in on budget. With our $657,750. It's just that the prices came back so close to that, and then you add the engineering on top that we needed a little bit more wiggle room. But there is contingency built into
Built
these.
into it,
So
yeah.
if things go really well, we may still bring it in on budget, but we don't want to go over without council's blessing, of course. So,
Fair. All right.
and of course that's what we'll be striving towards.
Yes,
is to-
absolutely. All right, thanks, Steve.
Just approximately how many days is that work going to take?
The leading contractor is estimating about 45 days.
Okay.
Again, I think with a 5-day flex time in that. So we're hoping to be finished by October 15th. We know we're starting a little bit later in the season, or just the way our capital plan rolled out this year, but we're still positive on getting it done this year.
Great, thank you. Okay, any other question?
Yeah, through the chair. The residents that live on those streets will be notified and alternate parking situations will be worked out with them so that, you don't have people phoning you.
Through the chair to Councilor Lambert, absolutely. We'll be right on the notification now that we are, with the council's approval of the budget here, we're going to move forward to award a contractor, and we'll be immediately notifying folks as early as likely tomorrow about the project. Both areas, I believe, do have some alleyways, and there's some flexibility, I think, on where we can park. We're working with the contractor very closely to make sure it's hopefully as pain-free as possible to replace that sewer line, but there will be certainly a little bit of inconvenience for folks. We'll try and minimize that, though.
Great, thanks.
All right. Who'd like to make the motion?
Through the chair.
Counselor Fox.
I move that council approve a budget increase of $67,250 for the Athabasca Crescent Sewer Main Replacement Project to be funded from the unallocated local government fiscal framework capital funds.
All in favor?
All right.
Motion carried. Thanks, Director Altina. Okay, moving on to item 8, Councilor's business. I actually thought we're gonna be taking the month off, but it doesn't seem like that was so for some of us. So, did a few things over since the last meeting. So attended quite a few farmers markets. I went to the amazing Elks Derby, which I think was the best one that I've seen yet. The timing of it and everything else was just right. The traffic was managed really well. Love the pre-sales of the tickets. I love, the VIP and the added entertainment throughout the day was really good. It's really nice to see everybody out there with smiling faces and enjoying a large event like that in town. And I'm hoping that a lot of our businesses saw an increase in business for that day or two that the Derby was here. I've had about 3 regular meetings of the mayor's mid-sized mayor's caucus. Additional to that, we met with Minister Williams, who's the new minister for municipal affairs. He really likes the idea of working with a group on mid-sized caucus instead of individual towns. So we represent 84 towns across Alberta from size 1,000 to 14,999. I am on the executive, and the executive meets with the minister and with the MLAs who want to find out more information. Minister Williams, just like McIver, is willing to work with us to try and find some funding, sustainable funding for our mid-sized towns. We also met with MLA Sear, who represent his northern towns, Bonnyville, Cold Lake, Elford, up in that area. And he was really happy to meet with the caucus as well and to try and help us advocate for the needs of mid-sized towns, especially with that infrastructure funding. So really good meetings. Our executive really happy with them. And we are hoping to continue on this path and continue to get more of the 84 towns on board. Currently, we have 27 out of the 84. Okay, also had continued with my weekly CAO meetings. I met with a real cool kid, and Dominic, who wanted to, he's about 7, he wanted to chat about what happens in the arena in the off season and why don't we have ice in there. He was a really neat kid, had a lot of good questions. I took him to the Donut Man, bought him a donut with him and his dad, and you know, he thought that was great. And at the end of the meeting, wanted me to come fishing with him at the fishing pond with him and his dad. And I had to politely decline because I had other things to do. But really neat kid. And it's really nice to see that they, you know, can come and ask anybody questions. And that's a good thing. Met with a few residents, of course, here in August in regards to the weeds and the foxtail and whatnot in Vista. As you can see, thank you to Director Eltina and Director Nash, who I both spoke to about this. I also gave a call to the developer to get that cleaned up. And I see tonight that they're actually starting to clean up that school site in some of the areas that they said they were going to. So hopefully they do a really nice job, and we can keep those weeds and foxtail to a minimum so that Crossfield is looking good and everyone's puppies don't get into that foxtail. And that's it for me. Deputy Mayor Brennan.
Thank you. On August 20th, I had a Marigold Library Board meeting. It was nothing, it was a pretty slow summer so far. Nothing super impactful for us, except that Schedule C levy rates is coming up for review from their governance committee. So we'll be seeing that in fall, I believe. Come back. Beyond that, I actually missed the Derby, unfortunately, but so I have nothing else to report.
Councillor Fox. Nothing further to report. Councillor Gustafson.
So we've been off from the Rocky View Foundation for a little bit, but I'll just have a quick update from our, and I got this here last week from our CAO, Chris Rowe. Just on some update on the Bragg Creek project, we're engaging with the Rocky View County. Some rezoning, just to get some further steps forward in the project for Bragg Creek, the new Big Hill Lodge. We're scheduling some more meetings with the town to review site that's already earmarked for the purpose of the new lodge. We're working with the government of Alberta and with the grants, everything is kind of still in a holding pattern with that. We have most of the repairs done on the old lodge there in Cochrane. It's about 40% complete. Just it's an old lodge that needs to be replaced. So working to get some new building in Cochrane as soon as we possibly can. Abrio is running very well. It's full with, I think we got about 77 on the wait list there. So every little bit counts that we can put these seniors in some good homes. That's about it. I did also attend and worked at the Derby. And yeah, it's exciting to see all those people that are not from our community enjoy a little piece of Crossfield. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's that too. But, you know, I just think that, you know, the Elks are doing a good job with some succession planning too.
Yes.
And having those young adults take some of the responsibility over and really knock it out of the ballpark. So that's good.
They've the young members have really taken it to another level of, you know, Not that we couldn't have, but they have a lot of energy to give to our community and
Yeah.
give back. So kudos to our young members. Thank you.
Good, thanks. Counselor Knight.
I'm the acting chairman of the Water Commission still, so I meet with John just about weekly, with the early July meeting in our Water Commission and no August meeting. We talk weekly and then I had to go up there and sign some checks, go over the agenda for the September 10th meeting, discuss water levels. We've had some staffing health issues, but we're working way through that, which is good. They're still delivering water. Interestingly enough, the 10 inches of rain, we had to use limited or minimal water cleaning products, which was good. Also an interesting note is when those rainfall warnings come out, how they measure and how they release the Glenifer is quite interesting. So if you ever want to look into how that impacts it, if it says there's 3 or 4 inches of rain coming, they're like on a monitoring tool and all the rest, and they seem to let go like almost within 1 to 2% of
Yep.
the exact amount of water. It's quite impressive how that works out. I also attended the Mountain View Water Commission yearly golf tournament with Mayor Harris on August the 28th. It's a good networking event. It's a great day. Long Drive Harris is apparently getting prepped for the Chamber of Commerce golf tournament coming along after her big W up there. So that's all I got.
That was a lot of fun. It was a good little tournament. You know, the funny thing about that tournament, your one sponsor, that does the sewage cleanouts and stuff is a friend of mine from high school. Anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Excellent. Counselor Lambert,
Nothing to report.
Counselor Bang.
I attended the car show on the weekend of his derby, and it was really good and lots showed up for that. I also attended the derby as well, and really good showing. Again, hats off to the Elks Club. And I also have been to a few of the farmers markets too, and they're coming along good too.
Excellent. Thanks. You'd like to make a motion.
Good share.
Counselor Knight.
I move that Councillor business be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Moving on to item 9, administrative update. Up first, we have administrative update by Steve Altina, Director of Infrastructure and Community Growth.
Good evening again, Mayor Harris and Council. Steve Altina, Director of Community Infrastructure and Community Growth, here to present the monthly administrative update for August 2025. For Public Works and Infrastructure, we've advanced a number of capital projects over the summer. A new backhoe loader has been procured and was delivered at the end of August. We received official delivery just last week and a little bit of training today on that guy. The wastewater disposal master plan draft was completed with Magna Engineering Services. It's now undergoing some refinement review by ourselves and administration in Magna prior to presentation to council. We do intend to bring that back to council very shortly here. A tender for the sewer main replacement on Athabasca Street closed on August 29th, as discussed earlier. If you've driven past the bulk water station, you'll see that the overhead fill at the bulk water station has been removed, and we've converted that to a 3-inch barrel fill station. What we've heard from customers is that's resulting in up to 5 to 7 minute fill faster on some of the big trucks. So it's been fairly successful, and it came in well under budget as we were able to actually reuse a lot of the internal components in the station to organize for the 3-inch barrel fill. Under planning and development, we haven't been quite as busy over the summer. We have received 3 redesignation applications and 1 subdivision application to date in 2025. Along with 99 development permit applications, including 57 applications for new homes. So just a handful of new home applications over the summer. We do expect it to pick up again this fall. We've had 15 home occupation permits this year and 8 sign permits. And then we do just as a kind of heads up to council, we do expect there'll be several planning and development applications presented to council in the coming council meetings for a range of developments. Under customer service and community engagement, after some initial technical delays, the Crossfield Connect, which is the eGov platform, is now officially live. The online payment feature is still being finalized, but account holders can create an online profile using their existing town tax or utility account details and view their utility tax and dog license information. The eGov module is accessible through the town website. A new website platform is also being developed. This new platform will transition the town of Crossfields website to a more modern and user-centered platform that improves accessibility, usability, and communication for residents and businesses. So stay tuned for some changes to the website. Upcoming, the town will be participating, of course, in the Crossfield Community Fest on December 9th next week, which I believe runs from 4 till 7 p.m. From community services and events, the summer recreation program had another successful year. Participation increased from previous years with the addition of some new trips and activities. The ice plant was turned on at the arena on August 22nd, with ice install taking place from August 25th to September 2nd. The first ice time of the season is on Wednesday, September 3rd. Also, the RFP for the new pump track in Murdoch Park closed on August 19th. Administration is currently reviewing the submitted proposals and hope to have a contractor in place by mid-September to start working on a design. Under administrative services, at this time, as of today, the returning officers received a number of nomination packages. So far, we have 3 for mayor and 7 for councillor. On August 15th, there was a processing error resulting in tax withdrawals being taken instead of utility payments. The issue was identified early that morning, and staff worked diligently to resolve it. Funds were returned to the affected accounts the same day for approximately 94% of customers, with the remainder corrected by the following day. Administration does sincerely apologize for this error and appreciates everyone's patience and understanding as we work towards that resolution. Also went out was a request for invitational procurement for financial investment services. This was released on August 28th with the closing date on September 29th. There was also the mid-sized town mayor's caucus administrative team met on August 13th to discuss the funding presentation that the executive committee will present to the minister in September. And just some notes on the upcoming election. September 22nd is nomination day until 12 p.m. Returning officers will have a table set up in the town office to collect nominations on nomination day. There's 2 candidate forums planned because we do have a number of candidates running for council and mayor. First one on September 30th and the other one on October 1st, both at 6:30? Both at 6:30 p.m. October 9th is the advance poll at the community center from 4 till 8 p.m. And then October 20th is election day. Hours? Election day on October 20th from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. And that concludes administrative update. If you have any questions, we're available to answer them.
Great. Just one, Councilor Knight brought up earlier an update on the wastewater and Alberta Environment with our discharges. If we can chat about that, because we can do some development now.
Sure, yeah, I guess just to put it out there for council, obviously council was informed. Administration are working with Magna Engineering and having conversations with the province. The town did apply for and receive a letter of authorization from the provincial government for a temporary limited volume discharge into Nose Creek to occur in June 2026 and June 2027. The discharge volume will be about 100,000 cubic meters. This is intended as a very brief interim measure to be taken to allow the town to advance and support some of the development that's sitting in the queue right now. Notably, we've been waiting on that Vista Crossing Phase 5 subdivision application, which we intend to bring to council very shortly here, and other development as well within town that we've been, waiting for some capacity increase. So that's not to say we're working very diligently towards the actual infrastructure solution, and that will also be presented to council very shortly here as well. This is just an interim measure to be replaced by that infrastructure solution going forward. So.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update.
Thank you, Mary Harris.
Any other questions for Director Altina?
Through the chair.
Councilor Knight.
It's not a question, Steve. I'm just wondering, now that we're doing such a good job tracking our engagements for like 2026, if you can kind of leave and overlap the 2025 metrics, just so when you see the engagements on here, like 468, 326, all the rest, if when you provide that to the next council, if you can overlap the 2025 numbers, just so people can see if there's something going on, if there's waves and valleys. It just might be nice for council to make a difference and go, okay, I can go back and look at my packages to look back there, but it'd be kind of neat if there's another bar on that graph right there to just post we can't do it from 2024, but now that we're doing this full
Yeah.
reference right here, it might be helpful going forward. You can just kind of see what's going on. And I'm gonna guarantee the more that we keep informing the residents, the engagements, and the more things that we do together with them with these tools that we're using, the engagements are gonna be well.
Yeah.
Just kind of good to see what we're
Yeah,
doing.
for sure. Good point. Yeah, I don't have any questions. Just a big thank you to staff though for a quick turnaround on the mistake. Mistakes happen and that was, you caught it early and you addressed it. And I think that's a really quick turnaround on something like that. So thank you. All right. If there's no further questions, who'd like to make a motion?
Through Chair,
Counselor Vang,
I'll make the motion that the administrative update be accepted as presented.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, quarterly corporate update. Amber Roulette, CFO, and Patty T, Executive Assistant. We got both of you tonight. And just a note, Steve, on that, the website, I think there's already been some significant changes there. It's a lot easier to use. Yeah,
To the chair, like. that'd
it's
be-
okay. It's just a
be
comment.
Manager Nash's. department,
Yes.
so.
Just a comment I've noticed in it. It's a lot easier to use. Yeah. Anytime you're ready.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Welcome back from summer holidays. Way to get into it here. So tonight, Patty and I are presenting the quarterly Q2 quarterly report. The quarterly report is an integrated report focused on key strategic, operational, and financial results for the town. The report includes an update on the activities of the organization, its capital projects, programs, and services, key trending data, and financial results for the period ended June 30th, 2025. I'd like to express my gratitude to the many members of administration who contributed to the development of the Q2 Town of Crossfield quarterly report. I would especially like to recognize the efforts of our executive assistant, Patty Telfer. Patty and I will be co-presenting the Q2 quarterly report. In recognition of your hard work, more hard work. It is administration's recommendation that council accepts the 2025 second quarterly corporate report as information. Administration has prepared the attached report to update council and the community on the key activities of the organization, services provided to the community, trending data, and insights into the work being undertaken as it relates to council's 2022 to 2025 strategic plan. The report also provides financial highlights for the quarter and includes information such as capital project highlights and procurement activity, along with operating variance reporting. Details on debt and reserve balance, as well as mayor and council expenditures, have also been included for additional financial context. A section on financial investments has also been introduced in the Q2 report. The report is prepared to support transparency in municipal operations and financial reporting. And now, take it away, Patty.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Harrison, Council. My name is Patty Telfer, and I will be presenting to you an overview of the first part of the 2025 Q2 report before CFO Ouellette presents the procurement and financial details. Activity highlights feature the Q2 trending data tied to permitting, social needs, emergency and protective services, customer engagement, facility and amenity usage, and social media and website traffic. Regarding the development and building permits, the town saw positive growth in the second quarter of 2025 with 50 development permits and 30 new home starts. Building permit values rose 39% compared to the same time last year, totaling $14.4 million in construction value, increasing fee revenues by over 50%. Safety code permit activity also hit a record high, increasing by 27% year over year, underscoring the demand for inspection services to support ongoing growth. The social needs and reporting includes food security statistics, which represent the number of clients accessing the Crossfield Madden Food Bank. Food bank usage in Crossfield remained steady in Q2, reflecting ongoing social local need. Social programs for families and youth remained well used, with seasonal initiatives like Youth Week contributing to strong community participation. Regarding the protective services, the fire department responded to 7 fire incidents in the second quarter of 2025, which is up from 5 in the same quarter last year. Overall call volumes rose 32% from Q2 2024, driven mainly by Charlie, Delta, and Echo medical responses and a doubling of motor vehicle accidents. For the second quarter of 2025, the Crossfield Municipal Enforcement responded to 58 calls. This is a 58% decrease from the same period in 2024. This decrease is largely due in part to the part-time staffing levels of the peace officer position, with recruitment efforts ongoing. The department continued its shift towards education first enforcement, issuing 140 warnings and 29 tickets. Recruitment for the full-time peace officer was ongoing throughout Q2, and the position was successfully filled in early Q3, strengthening the town's capacity to respond to community needs. In regards to the customer engagement, in Q2, the town received 1,023 calls for service, which is down 62% from last year. While this doesn't reflect all channels of customer engagement, the town continues to explore options for enhancing reporting in this capacity. So you will note with regard to the facility and amenity trends, the town operates 2 main community facilities, 6 baseball diamonds, and 2 green spaces dedicated to soccer. You will know, Q2 saw a 344% increase in the main floor usage at the Pete Knight Arena due to a lacrosse contract, which bolstered activity. Conversely, the community center experienced a slight decrease in bookings, with a notable shift from long duration to short duration bookings. The baseball rentals remain strong, and the soccer registration grew 58%, reflecting renewed community interest in organized play. The social media and website statistics are presented for informational purposes in the report, and they continue to indicate that the town has a strong online presence within the community. So the next 2 slides will highlight the initiatives relating to the strategic plan, the 2022 to 2025 strategic plan. And they've been included to reflect the work underway in these priority areas. The sustainable community growth highlights include the adoption of the revised municipal development plan in June 2025. Additionally, significant work was completed to advance the revised land use bylaw, which is scheduled to be presented to council in Q3. During Q2, the key town infrastructure plans progressed including the receiving stream analysis and several water and wastewater upgrade projects. The water meter installation project is near completion, and the town strengthened its internal staffing component with a new asset management GIS specialist. Additionally, the town adopted 4 financial policies in Q2, strengthening long-term sustainability and ensuring a solid foundation for funding future infrastructure and service needs. Regarding the communications and public relations strategy, community engagement remains strong in Q2, with the town hosting its annual pancake breakfast in support of the Pete Night Days and lended significant support to the community-led Hockeyville campaign. The town also offered several public engagement opportunities, including an open house and several surveys to collect community input on matters such as the municipal development plan, the Amory Park community garden usage, the proposed bike skills pump track, and consultation on the 2026 municipal budget. These efforts reflect the town's commitment to inclusive planning and resident-guided local enhancements. Social development and emergency services. Activities in Q2 included the advancement of the fire service master plan, with the initial community risk assessment work well underway. Additionally, the new fire chief was welcomed, strengthening leadership capacity and ensuring the town is prepared to meet evolving emergency service needs. Parks, Recreation, and Beautification saw improvements this quarter, highlighted by the near completion of the relocated dog park and the successful conclusion of the park sign replacement project. So while not technically a strategic priority in terms of the grant funding, administration has actively pursued and secured more than $1 million of funding through competitive grant programs and to support the priorities identified in Council's strategic plan. In Q2 of 2025, over $25,000 was received through 2 specific successful grant applications. Capital plan highlights. So highlights include the park sign replacement project, which was successfully completed as of Q2 2025, including flower bed installation. So all 8 town parks now feature the new signage. The Amory Park outdoor rink upgrade, the contract was awarded in 2025 and work began in early June. And initial progress was impacted by the rainy weather conditions, and the project is now expected to be completed in Q3. The dog park improvement project progressed in Q2 with turf establishment. The ground was hydroseeded, and additional amenities such as benches and waste receptacles will be added as the capacity allows. The park is expected to officially open once the turf is sufficiently established, which is anticipated fall 2025 or spring 2026, depending on the route strength. The fire service master plan project was awarded to Bear Integrated Solutions in Q2. In phase 1 of this project, the community risk assessment is near completion. The phase 2 of the project, the full master plan, is set to begin in Q1 2026. And the Fire 155 replacement initiative, where we purchased a used fire truck, refurbished it, and had upgrades installed. That work happened in Q2, and the apparatus was delivered in July and was being prepared for service, and it was expected to have moved to the front lines this past weekend. Today. Activities moving forward regarding the replacement of the town's backhoe loader. As it was mentioned, that the town awarded the contract in June 2025 to Rocky Mountain Equipment. The new loader will enhance the operations team in their capacity for general construction and maintenance activities. Equipment was delivered and training is beginning this week. Sorry. Continuing with capital plan highlights, the facilities and infrastructure. The installation of a new arena score clock at the Pete Knight Arena was completed and is ready for the upcoming hockey season. The proposed upgrades to the bulk water station on lot, as Steve mentioned, were addressed through a customer usage survey in Q2, and the survey results showed that customers were agreeable to replacing the existing 3-inch overhead pipe with a safer 3-inch barrel fill option. The project was contracted to a local plumbing company and work is scheduled, well, it's completed now. Water and wastewater infrastructure improvement activities were ongoing throughout Q2. A request for proposal was awarded in June to address aging water and wastewater infrastructure at 3 separate locations in town: Athabasca, Crescent, Whitfield Ave, and Lot Ave. Design work commenced in late Q2, and the project work, including construction, will continue through to 2026. In June 2025, the town initiated a hydrant replacement project to upgrade 5 aging fire hydrants and 11 valves, enhancing the reliability of the municipal fire protection service. The request for quotation has been issued, and we are just waiting on receiving quotes or proposals. And as part of the ongoing sidewalk improvement project, the town assessed sidewalk conditions in Q2 2025 in order to address hazards and enhance accessibility and mobility throughout town. The assessment identified 23 locations requiring repair and resurfacing, which we're on track to be they are on track to be completed by the end of Q3. In addition, 14 locations were identified as needing full replacement, with work continuing through fall 2025 and the remaining replacement scheduled for completion in 2026. So this concludes my portion of the Q2 highlights, and I'll now turn the presentation to CFO Ouellette.
We have a table here highlighting the 3 procurements that took place in Q3 over 25,000. The Avery Park. You see them all there. We talked about them at Great Lake today, and we'll keep on. We'll get into the financial reporting highlight. At the end of Q2, it is generally expected that approximately 50% of the annual revenues will be collected and 50% of expenditures committed, leaving 50% variance compared to the budget. However, revenues and expenditures do not always occur evenly throughout the year due to seasonal factors, timing of payments, or scheduling of major projects. So notable revenue variances include an investment income. There's 36% of budget remains, which is favorable. This is impacted by the timing of cash outflows for capital expenditures, coupled with the influence of the prime rate set by the Bank of Canada. Penalty revenues at 65% of the budget remains, which is unfavorable. This is due to lower than anticipated penalties applied to property tax accounts with balances owing, which is actually a good thing. So nobody's really sad about that. I think it's a good indicator. Licenses and permits, there's 24% of the budget remains. As Patty previously mentioned, building permits and safety code applications continue to outpace original expectations. This is coupled with business license issuance is also trending up, in part due to the process improvements implemented between the town administration and the safety code inspection contractor. So that was a interesting find for me. Other income is also in favorable with 25% of the budget remaining. This is related to unbudgeted streetlight rebates and cost recovery revenue from the fiber optics program. This is offset slightly by decreased fine revenue resulting from the community peace officer position vacancy. Notable expenditure variances include in salaries, wages, and benefits. We're at a 56% budget remaining. This is consistent with vacancies reported in Q1 and the recruitment of the fire chief and the CPO positions most recently. Materials, goods, supplies, and utilities. 56% of the budget remains. This is mostly due to seasonality of expenditures and the effects of a relatively mild weather combined with higher than normal precipitation that we've experienced in the first half of 2025. Transfers to local boards are at 45% of the budget remaining, and this is just due to the timing of those transfers, and we expect to be on budget by year's end. Bank charges are over budget at mid-year, and administration is reviewing credit card processing practices to identify cost savings. At mid-year, the financial performance remains closely aligned to budget with the projected year-end surplus of approximately $246,000, which is equivalent to 2% of the budget. Of the anticipated surplus, approximately $202,000 is attributed to higher than expected revenues. This includes grant funding not originally budgeted, such as $25,000 each for the Rural Mental Health and New Horizons for Seniors program, along with the $25,000 grant from the Kraft Hockeyville experience. I don't know what that was. Revenue increases are also driven by residential development activity with the increased permitting fees, water meter sales, and utility account connection fees. So we can see that demand really trickling through even our financial statements. So the remaining $44,000 of the surplus is a result of reduced expenditures, primarily in salaries, wages, and benefits, as well as some savings realized in contracted services also. Administration will continue to monitor financial performance and revise the forecast as needed should emerging trends provide a clear outlook for the year-end results. So the town's debt limit is approximately 44% of the provincial limit. And the town's annual debt servicing costs are $856,000, which is considerably lower than the provincial limit. And these limits are mandated through the Municipal Government Act. Reserve balances. Council took an important step towards strengthening the town's long-term financial health when it adopted Reserve Policy C-304-25 on July 15th. This new policy sets out clear guidelines for how municipal reserves are created, managed, and used. Under the new reserve policy, the town's reserves are organized into specific categories, each with a defined purpose to ensure funds are used strategically and in alignment with community needs. Municipal Stabilization Contingency provides funding for non-recurring one-time expenditures that help offset annual impact of infrequent events. Operating and capital carry-forward reserves preserve unspent budget allocations for specific projects and expenditures, allowing them to be carried forward from one year to the next. The Health and Safety Reserve supports enhancement to the town's employee health and safety program. Capital projects reserves allocates funding for specific capital purposes as outlined in the policy, with the flexibility to establish new reserves to meet emerging needs. Infrastructure, lifecycle, maintenance, and replacement reserves provide dedicated funding for the upkeep, renewal, and replacement of the town's existing infrastructure and assets, ensuring these needs are met without creating sudden tax impacts. The Cemetery Perpetual Care Reserve sets aside funding for specific purposes, sets aside funding for future one-time operating or capital projects within the cemetery, and externally restricted reserves contains funds designated for specific purposes as required by third parties such as the Recreation Board and developers. The offsite levy reserve balance will be updated in the Q3 report after administration completes some review and accounting adjustments to meet the revenue recognition requirements highlighted by the auditors. Financial investment activities. On July 2nd, Council approved the updated investment policy C303-25, establishing a comprehensive framework for managing the town's financial assets. The policy ensures the prudent investment of public funds by prioritizing capital preservation, liquidity, and responsible stewardship. The next steps involve, as of last Thursday, a request for proposal was released and will close on September 29th with an anticipated agreement for financial investment services to be in place by mid-October. At the end of June 2025, all of the town's investments were held in high-interest savings accounts, and the average rate of return was 3.33%. Mayor and council expenditures. Disclosing mayor and council expenditures ensures transparency, accountability, and responsible use of public funds. The cost of committee meeting expenses have been allocated equally to all council members. Community and public engagement. Once accepted by council, the Q2 corporate report will be available on the town's website. And on behalf of Patty and myself, thank you for your time. We are available to answer any questions that you may have on the report and presentation.
Great. Really good presentation. Questions? The hard questions go not to Amber. No.
Through,
Councilor Knight.
this might get directed to CEO Nash. There's 4 initiatives in the sustainable growth chart that are indicated in yellow. A couple easy ones. One's the AHS ambulance, which could be a follow-up simple. One's more commercial industrial thing. And there's one that's the campground not started. Does administration have kind of any thoughts or ideas how we can get a couple of these caught back up, or how we can kind of get them out of the yellow situation and maybe more in an active path?
Do you have just a specific page that they could look at on that, Councilor Knight?
On page 15.
Thank you.
It's the corporate report too. And there's just everything in the substantial growth chart here, which is really good. It's fantastic. Got all the pages down structured. There's just 4 that are still in yellow and 1 that isn't started. And it's not necessarily to get to each nose. I'm just curious if administration has a path to get them back maybe on the train tracks.
I think, yeah.
Oh, you want me to? Sure. Okay. Through the chair to Councillor Knight, I definitely see some of those projects here, like the commercial industrial development incentives. I think they're in a delayed state. Only I think as we waited through some of the wastewater constraints and stuff, we weren't actioning any economic development per se if we didn't have the capacity to house it. So,
Now, I'm not
for
sure
example,
looking specifically for like each one, just like, is there a plan to
kind
kind of follow back up, maybe come back with council? So that
yeah,
the
like,
city
and
can get some directions on where these are going. That's all.
for example, like the Range Road 12 water loop is still in the works. It's still something that's needed. It's just not
active.
Like it's not our first action. Exactly. So they're coming. They're just not happening at the moment. So I'd say they're still absolutely active. I won't speak so much. I think the campground is that I don't know about that. We don't talk about that too much, but I would say the other projects for sure are definitely in our future plans.
Yeah, like
maybe
the AHS one's probably just a communication email and a phone call. That one gets back caught up pretty fast. I just was wondering if there's any plan if it can come back over the next one, the ones that are on yellow. That's all. That was more of a comment than anything.
If I could add something to the chair, some of them too, just maybe more specific to the campground construction plan. That one was also discussed in one of our planning sessions with council, where we went over the strategic plan and some of the priorities that that we had, that council had, and I believe the campground one kind of got pushed down that list, so that's why that one's kind of sitting there as not actioned yet.
Yeah.
But we can take that back and take a look at them and bring back to council some ideas on possibly moving some of those forward for sure.
Thanks.
Great. Any further questions?
Through the chair.
Counselor Gustafson.
Thank you. I think it's fantastic. The report was well put together. It's a great tool, not only for council, to see, you know, to give us the information to make a great informed decisions going forward that administration asks of us, but only our, as well as administration to use it as a tool to improve the health of our town. You know, going back to the initiative, you know, looking at, you know, for example, the decrease in utilization of the hall here, you know, we use this report as a tool to where can we do better? Is there, you know, are we looking at initiatives to increase the utilization of the hall? Have we gone that far? Like we've now gathered the information. What are we going to do with it? So I'll let you field that.
Thank you, Councillor Gustafson. Through the chair to Councillor Gustafson. We will definitely take that information and take a look at what we can do to try and turn that around, or maybe there's a different avenue that we can work toward in getting other types of rentals into the community center. So, and maybe it's also, you know, trying to do more marketing for the community center. So, there, like you said, having that information at our fingertips now allows us to start to move in those directions.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool. I just had one it's a comment of my own, and I don't know if my colleagues on council agree with me on this, but in the capital plan highlights, we look at the things that have been completed on you know page, let's say slide 7. You know, the parks and open space, like some of the things that have been completed. I don't know if it's, you know, council's interested. You know, we had a budget to do these. You know, is it of any value to council or even to the community to, hey, we did a great job, we kept it at budget or under budget, you know, just a addition to you know what we have finished off. So that's just a comment of mine. If you do it what you want. So thank you. That's all I have.
That's fine. Yeah, just a comment. So we'll keep moving forward. Any other questions? Just one question, Director Nash, I'll put this to you. I know we had, just while we're hiring for municipal enforcement, we've had just some, not a delay, but there was a lot of municipalities hiring at the same time as we were for that position. And it took a couple of months, so we had some savings on that. But we also, going through the interview process and everything, got the right person for the job. And so that process just took some time. So we had some savings there. But have we ever had a gap with RCMP in our community over the last 4 years? I think I know the answer to that, but
To the chair, I don't recall having a gap with
Yeah.
our CMP. I believe we've always had our enhanced member. In saying that, we have had a gap when our enhanced members were being either they'd left or that, but they always backfilled that to have a temporary person in place while they were trying to fill the.
right. So no gap.
So no,
RCMP are always filled.
RCMP have always been present.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, good. Great presentation. I love the information. So thank you for that. I know it's a lot of work to put it together, but it's, I think, really valuable information for all of us. Okay, any questions? No more questions. So if we could get a motion, please. Deputy Mayor?
I move that the second quarter corporate update be accepted as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item 9.2. Outstandings list. Director of Community and Protective Services, Russ Nash.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. For the outstanding action list, we have several items that have been completed and we'll be asking for them to be removed from the list. Item number 024, tax sale lands of 1316 Railway Street and 1318 Railway Street. The phase 2 environmental assessment was completed in July and will be part of the town-owned lands discussions coming forward here, or the strategy that'll be coming forward. Item 065, the reserve policy. Administration has updated the reserve policy and completed the allocation of reserves as motioned by council. Item 066, town-owned land sale inquiry. Administration has followed up, and council had made a decision relating to town-owned land sale inquiries to defer inquiries until after after the town-owned land strategy discussion with council. Item 067, the regional RCMP policing model study. Administration has notified the regional partners of council's decision to not continue with further exploration of a regionalized policing model. And the final one, item 068, the Colquitt Siding Golf Club agreement. Administration has signed that agreement with the club. Just of a further note, the item 061, bike skills park and pump track, that has been updated. The RFP has closed and proposals are currently being reviewed. So that's just an update on that item there. So as noted, administration is looking for a council motion to remove items 024, 065, 066, 067, and 068.
Excellent. Questions for Director Nash? Okay, no questions. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that items 024, 065, 066, 067, 068 be removed from the outstanding items list.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Okay, we have correspondence, 10.1, a letter from the RCMP introducing new commanding officer. Item 10.2, Rocky View Foundation Community Impact Report 2025. Any questions about those? Okay, who would like to make a motion?
Through the chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I move that the items under correspondence be accepted for information.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion carried. And that brings us to item 11, adjournment.
Through the chair, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.